Hello, everyone, and welcome to cr506. So this is your intro lecture. This lecture has just me talking through all the information that's in the syllabus. It might be a little bit easier to listen to it than to read everything and go through the blackboard and everything like that. So anyway, this is cr506. You should have passed your accounting and your intro to finance if you needed those. Your textbook is Earhart and Brigham Corporate Finance, A Focused Approach, 6th edition. It is available in your, what we call, Aplia. I don't know if it's Aplia or Aplia. I'm just going to call it Aplia. There's an ebook in there. If you are comfortable with an ebook, you do not need a hard copy of the book. If you would like to hold a hard copy of the book, that is fine too. The hard copy of the book I suggest buying an old edition or an international edition because you've already paid for the software, so you might as well save a little bit of money. This is a finance class after all, right? So you are allowed to use your book for the tests. It's open book, so that's another thing to consider. If you want to have a book in front of you when you're taking your exams, you can do that. Have a hard copy of the book or just have the ebook in front of you. So that's your textbook. It would be nice if you kind of paid attention to what was going on in the world throughout this course, like what's going on in business and finance, but most of you do that anyway because you guys are all in jobs. This class is asynchronous, which means we will not meet live. That said, we will have some opportunities for live office hours. What I find is a lot of people don't come, but a lot of people really would love to meet every single week. So people travel, people have lives, people just want to get through it, and they're not really interested in the knowledge. Some people just want everything that I could possibly offer. So we have all kinds of different people in the class. Some people are taking it early in their careers. Some people it's your last class. So I'll give some opportunities for live sessions as well, especially before the exams. So most important is this Aplia. That's the 35% of your grade. You get to drop 2 of them for either a BAM or an Aplia. So at the end of the semester, I'll go through and pick your 2 lowest scores. I can tell you already that the BAM scores tend to be higher than the Aplia scores. The Aplia, the problem with it, and the thing that I find is that if you're spending a lot of time on it, then I'm not sure the value is there. Use it as a tool, use it to help you learn, but if it's starting to consume you because you have to get 100, then that's not where we want to be with it. There's other ways that you can not only get better scores and grades, but also that are going to bring you more value as far as learning the material. So you can use that as it's a tool, and you're supposed to do it, but keep it in check, I guess is what I'm saying. Because I get phone calls every semester from people who are like, wow, this is taking me so long. And I'm like, you're using it wrong. That's not how you should use it. So read your texts, books, go over the problems and things like that. You do the Aplia, and you should be fine. So that said, every week you're going to go into Blackboard, and our good friend Blackboard, and you're going to go under weekly units, and you'll see the tasks for that week. Now, I have everything set up. I will launch those. I know people like to work ahead. You guys are hilarious because the class hasn't even started and everybody's working ahead already. So today is your official start date. And today, everything should be good for this week. I will try to have some of those open in advance so that those of you who travel or, let's say, have a hectic schedule at work or family life, you can get ahead and be prepared for those weeks. So I'll do that as soon as they're ready, as soon as it's up there with, obviously I'm sure there will be things that I miss. But this week what I want you to do is I want you to go in and fill out the personal information Dropbox. I want you to register for Aplia. I want you to do those assignments, read the text, and you actually have 2 chapters, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. 1 is really just an overview. Chapter 2 is financial statements, cash flow, and taxes. That should be a review for most of you, hopefully, but it may not. So if you are, and for a lot of people, they say to me, oh, that's the only class that's why I took this class, and we get it in Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. But there's actually a lot more to this class than just Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. A lot of people enter this class and say, I just want to be able to read a financial statement and I want to be able to read it well and quickly and easily. And I'm like, okay, but there's a little bit more than that. So that is your week 1. If you have if you need accommodations, please contact the services center at DeSales. And at the end of the semester, you will have a opportunity to fill out course eval. And please do that because I really do read those and I try to make changes every single time. This semester, we're looking at this course and trying to come up with the best way to do it. So as we're going along, if you see something that could be done better, different, please let me know. I mean, we've run this course several times and it needs to kind of have some work done to it, I think. So this is a semester, so I'd love feedback. All right, looking at our course schedule, it's in your syllabus. Look at your syllabus. That's where it's kind of a contract between the two of us. And your first exam, there's 2 exams. There's the Aplia and there's the final project. Exam 1 will be launched sometime the week of the 26th of September. It'll be launched midweek because Chapter 7 is on the exam. And then you'll have a week to complete it. The exam is 2 parts. It is 2 parts. It's a multiple choice they're both in Blackboard. It's a multiple choice and it's a problems. The multiple choice, there's like 20 multiple choice. You have 2 hours. It's its own separate section. So you go in, you open it, your open note, open book, whatever. I recommend that you study first. Finish those 12 multiple choice. It will automatically give you a score. That score is kind of meaningless because it's not scaled or it's not, pulled both parts of the test together. And but you'll have a score. The second part of the test is the problems. You don't have to take these back to back. You can take it a week apart. I don't care when you take them as long as they're both done by the due date. You go in, there's 5 problems, you choose 4, and you'll type everything in Blackboard. So this gets a little tricky because you're going to be reading a problem and then typing your answer in Blackboard. But that's why you have a choice. There's 5 problems, choose 4. So if you kind of look at your chapters, you say, well, she's got 6 chapters, but one of them is chapter 1, so I can maybe expect a problem from each chapter. And I'm super strong at chapter 7, but I'm really not a fan of 12. Well, maybe when you open the test, you don't want to do the problem from 12. Or maybe you do want to do the problem from 12 because it's not as bad as you thought it was going to be. So strategically kind of look at the test. The problems tend to have lower grades than the multiple choice, although not always. My objective is not to fail anyone. My objective is to make sure that you are competent in finance as well as I can do that in this online environment, which is difficult. Trust me, it's very hard, but it's what the market wants. So that's kind of where we are. And we don't have the opportunity to go face-to-face a lot to make sure people are understanding things, so we will do that as best we can online. So those 2 parts of the test, when they both close, I will go in and manually grade the problems, and then the multiple choice, they're split 50-50. I'll pull that together. I'll create a new column in Blackboard that gives you your grade. Your running Blackboard grade is not your overall grade because I drop those problems. I dropped 2 of them, and it's just a compilation of the Aplia and the BAMs. So your grade in Blackboard is not your overall grade. It has a lot more work to be done to it than that. So while that's kind of a guide as to these are your scores as we go, that's not the whole score. So and then you'll do that again for exam 2, and then you have a project, which I will do more information about later. It is a financial analysis of a company, buy, sell, are they a good buy, are they a bad buy. So that's your project, but there's a whole separate folder in the weekly units of your Blackboard page. All right, on that note, the most important thing to do, please, is buy the Aplia this week. Get in there, look around, and also look at your Blackboard. Go in there and look around and make sure that you are good to go with both of those. All right, welcome to CR506.